Priyank, we keep up with the few Congress reactions coming in. Just spoke to Mr. Manikam Tagore. We're also putting out details of the tweet by Rahul Gandhi, wherein he's once again threatened to wage a war. What is it with these dhamkis? Because the Enforcement Directorate says they are just doing their duty. They are just taking the case to its logical conclusion.
If you remember, yesterday we broke that information that soon after, the two senior leaders from the Congress party, from and Mallikarjun Kharge, who were called in once again back to the same office by the Enforcement Directorate.
All right, Priyank, I believe we have that video as well. Let's quickly play it out.
देखिए कुलदीप सिंह असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर ऑफ एनफोर्समेंट एनफोर्समेंट पर्चे हैं ये जो नोटिस है कि अपने आप
Video that has been tweeted by Srinivas BV, close aide of Rahul Gandhi. Let me go across to Naseer Hussain joining us on the phone line. Mr. Hussain, what do we make of these kind of videos? A form of threat really being put out by Congress leaders non-stop. This while the Enforcement Directorate is carrying its own investigation. We've picked up news of how they've sealed a part of the National Herald building. But what do we make of these kind of threats being issued repeatedly, not once?
I have not seen that video.
We just played it out, sir.
No, I have not seen nor heard that. But the point remains that the government is trying to humiliate, trying to discredit, trying to scare the Congress leadership and the Congress party, especially the Gandhis. This is not only with the Congress party, but this is also being done with the leaders of all the opposition parties. This is how they are trying to muzzle the power that they have. Because in a non-existing scam or a non-existing case, which is an open and shut case, neither the money has been laundered nor any property has been transferred in any individual's name. Young India is a not-for-profit organization. Nobody can take money out of it. Nobody can draw or transfer money into their personal accounts. Nobody can transfer or get the property of Young India registered to any individual's name. It will only be in Young India. And if at all at some time it has to be transferred, it can also only be transferred in another not-for-profit making organization.
And Mr. Hussain,
where does
if
the
there
money
is nothing to fear, if there is no more truth that an attempt is being made to hide, then why is it that the Congress is resorting to these kind of dhamkis every time a questioning is scheduled to take place of either Rahul Gandhi or Sonia Gandhi? We see several workers take to streets and saying that they're going to be peaceful protests, but what ends up on ground is a completely different reality, wherein we see them breaking barricades, crossing over barricades. The situation turns out to be extremely violent. Why?
See, the problem with you all is you don't ask questions to the government. You always ask questions to the opposition.
Absolutely not, sir.
Just 1 second. Please allow me to speak. You asked question to Congress party when it was in power. Now you are asking question to Congress party when it is opposition. When will you ask Congress party? When will you ask question to the other opposition parties? We are a national party. We are a party which was there in governance for more than 55-60 years. You are trying to humiliate our leaders. You are trying to scare them off. You are trying to blackmail them. You are trying to discredit them. When these things are happening, don't we have a right to protest?
Absolutely, sir. You have the right to protest. But why does the Congress go on about peaceful protests in the name of violent protests? Why not peacefully cooperate with the agencies? That's all what the agencies are demanding since the very beginning. And if there's nothing to hide, then why fear the agencies' questions?
What kind of cooperation you need? All directors of Young India, Mrs. Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi have cooperated. They have present themselves for investigation for interrogation for more than 50-60 hours. And then you say that we are not cooperating. Who said we are not cooperating? Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, another director, has cooperated.
Hitting the streets, setting cars on fire, sir, and going out and putting out these tweets wherein Srinivas BV says, Yachna nahi ab run hoga, Jeevan jai ya ki maran hoga. What do we make of this? How is this peaceful cooperation? That's my only question.
We are peacefully cooperating. I have not seen that video. I don't know about what video you are speaking. We are cooperating and we have a right to protest. We have a right
Okay, all right. Sardar RP Singh is joining us on the phone line, and thereafter we'll try and go across to a Congress reaction once again. Mr. Singh, we just put out that video that has been tweeted by Srinivas BV. Now, a lot of developments are coming to light with regards to the National Herald case. There is an ongoing controversy and a war of words. The BJP and the Congress are locked in as far as the Har Ghar Tiranga program is concerned. But this is absolutely shocking. A Congress leader puts this video in which he's hinting at war, says that there will be revolt. What do you make of it?
Well, that's the culture of the Congress. They don't accept any institution in the country, whether it is the courts, whether it is the Election Commission, whether it is the ED or CBI or any other constitutional body. Don't have believe in any one of them, because even today, Jairam Ramesh with other MPs have signed a letter against the Supreme Court order. So that's what Congress is. So, but let them declare whatever revolt they want to declare. They will be dealt with as per the law, as per the Constitution, and they have to face the law. And for that reason, the court is there. They can go to court if they have anything against the ED or any other agency or any procedure of the agencies. They can go to the court and then seek relief from there.
All right. Thank you, Sardar RP Singh, for joining us with those details. Let's quickly play out a ground report filed by my colleague Priyank. Remember, ED searches went on at the National Herald case building for close to 13 to 15 hours. He was relentlessly reporting from there. Here's a ground report.
The Office of Enforcement Directorate has sealed the Young India's office here at Bahadur Shah Zafar Marg, Herald House. You can say this is a letter which has been written which says that it hereby ordered that this premises not to open without prior permission from the Directorate of Enforcement, and the order copy is pasted off a third. This is the Office of Young India, which is 5A Herald House, Bahadur Shah Zafar Marg. The Herald House has been here, and since 2010 this office has been situated here. The Enforcement Directorate carried out searches at this premises on Tuesday for 16 hours, and soon after before they left, they had also called Mallikarjun Kharge and Pawan Bansal to depose before them, so that all those documents which have been recovered can be testified. But when Pawan Bansal and Mallikarjun Kharge did not appear once again before the Enforcement Directorate office, this office has been sealed. What ED has been stating that this has been done just because the office bearers were not present at the moment when this office was sealed and when they were called in. Priyank Tripathi reporting from Delhi for the Times at Work.
So the Young Indian office stands sealed at the moment. Priyank continues to stay on with us. Priyank, we just put out that detailed report filed by you earlier on, and we could hear you say that Pawan Bansal and Mallikarjun Kharge were also asked to appear before the agency there. And I believe that did not quite happen. What is it that transpired thereafter? What more can you tell us about this decision being taken by the Enforcement Directorate?
See, Mallikarjun Kharge and Pawan Bansal, both of them came here 24 hours back when they were called in by the officers of Enforcement Directorate who were carrying out searches on the 4th floor of this Herald building where the Young India's office is situated. Basically, during the course of investigation, after questioning Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, what it appears that the ED has found that they have a series of missing trail of the document, following to which they came here, and to be very precise, according to our sources, they were talking to the account section staff. They were taking the data, but since the office bearers were not present at that moment, it's not legal for any agency to take any documented fact which is present inside the office without their prior permission or without taking their signatures on board. What we got to know that the ED officials left from this office early in the morning, and before they were leaving, they have pasted this particular letter which has been signed by a Deputy Director rank officer, which says that without their prior permission this office will not be open. But in the meanwhile, we know that the Congress party workers have been very much agitated whenever it comes to any issues which is related to Sonia Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi, them being the topmost leaders of their party. There have been security which is certainly beefed up at the Congress party office since we know that on 5th the Congress has called up for a massive protest, and it cannot be denied that tomorrow also on 4th the Congress party workers workers once again go and protest at several locations, because what they have been claiming that the ED is trying to muzzle the voice of common people, and they are trying to muzzle the voice of Herald House, one of the pioneer paper which was launched by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru as a voice of the people. Since then, I would say that this is the location which is certainly under the eye of the storm, where the office is right now being, the gates have been locked because of so much of media presence here. What the officers have been saying, that the office which is on the ground floor and the first floor will be operational, because this is the office where the passport office is also situated. This gate has been locked, and let me show you once again. This is the small board. If my video journalist would be able to zoom in and show, although the letters would not be so much clear, this small board is the address of Young India. You can clearly see, yes, Young India 5A Herald House is the location. But what is very, I would say very, looking bad at this nature, that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's picture, which is at the front of this building, has been tainted, I would say, because of the wrong done which has been done allegedly by this particular company, which took up the ownership of the National Herald newspaper, which was operating since decades, and in the name of providing some more relief to all those employees who were working here, alleged money laundering also happened, and following to which the ED filed an FIR. In the interim tax terminal report, it's quite clearly stated that they haven't clear evidences that the money route which was taken and the manner in which all these shares exist in hand and all those amount of shares was changed into equity was not following the proper process. And in fact, one of the company, Detox Merchandise, also gave a loan to Young India, which was later on handed over in the name of a loan without any kind of surety to Herald House. So all these money chain has been something which is under the eye of storm, under the serious of scrutiny by the Enforcement Directorate. But a newspaper which was started by the first Prime Minister of the country coming under the radar by the wrongdoings which were done by various political party leaders who are being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate time and again, is certainly something which the country would ask ED officials that if they are following this particular probe, whether those culprits who have defamed the name of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru could be booked to the task or not, is something which the country has been asked.
All right.